Well, happy Tuesday and welcome back to The Average Fisherman, everybody. Got a really good episode for you guys that I'm excited about. You can see the grin on my face. Last night, or yesterday afternoon about 15 or 20 minutes ago actually, it's been raining constantly and it's cold. When I just got out the car a little while ago, it said it was 48 degrees. So if you remember from this point last week, that's a 30-degree drop. We were pushing 80 degrees on Tuesday of last week. Now it's 48. So yeah, pretty significant cold air has come through since then. And starting tomorrow night into Thursday, we have another really, really cold front coming through where the temperatures won't get out of the upper 30s. And we're going to drop into the high teens or low 20s at night. So we have this super cold air mass coming. Why is that important and why am I excited about this episode? Well, for two reasons. One happens to be I really friggin' like the wintertime. In fact, it's my favorite time of the year. Secondly, though, that means for sure the rainbow trout are coming. The stocked rainbow trout are coming. So that's what this episode is about. So I've done a little few segments here and there where I quickly talked about, stuff dealing with the rainbow trout. But I wanted to give you guys my exact setup, right? What are exactly the things that I use to go out and catch rainbow trout every year when they stock them? This is what I've used every year, and it is, I've never had a problem catching them, to put it that way. I usually come home with a limit every day, and so does everybody that comes with me who uses my stuff, so I'm pretty confident in it. Anyhow, let's get into it. So the basics of what you're going to need, obviously, is a rod or reel. I recommend an ultralight or a light. Light or ultralight will do. Any kind of panfish rod, basically. I'm going to be, for the first time, using the Omen panfish and trout that I have sitting here, and I'll show you guys my setup in 1 second. But that's what I'm going to be using, is my panfish and trout series from the Omens. I have some family coming in and stuff like that that are going to be obviously using them as well. Plus, I have a bunch of other little light and ultralight spinning setups that are going to be used. So what are the things that I recommend you get? Well, rod holders for one. These are the Berkeleys that I ordered off of Amazon. I didn't do a really good job of taking the stickers off there, but these are super handy when you're fishing for these stock trout, because believe it or not, you don't always just throw in the water and hook one right away and pull it out, right? So sometimes there's a lot of waiting that's involved. So I'm going to be using these. You shove them into the bank and you put your rod into here, and that way you can kind of have your rod held securely without actually having to hold on to it, right? So I got about 6 or 8 of these off of Amazon. I think I ordered them in an 8-pack. So what line am I using? I'm using this. This is the main line that's on my reels. Hercules 6-pound. This is the regular 4-strand braid and the color fast stuff. I have a brown one and I have a green one. What's on this reel right here is the green, but it is this stuff. It is the 6-pound braid. It just happens to be in green. See? Green. So the way that I tie them up, let me just show you guys. Here's my little trout box. This is the little box that I bring with me when I go fishing for these stock trout, because it's super easy. It's all contained in this little bitty box, and I'm going to show you guys what's in here. These are 1/4-ounce tungstens, just plain tungstens. Here's some 1/4-ounce leads. Oh, here. These are the 1/4-ounce leads, actually. 1/4-ounce painted lead. And these are 3/16 ounce tungstens. So that's the weights that I use, and I like the bullet weights. Okay. What's on this one right now is this little 1/4-ounce plain tungsten. And it's not painted or anything. So you need those. You need some barrel swivels like these. Let me put it against my hand here. There. Okay. And these are size 12s, by the way. I made sure that I got the sizes. This is size 12 barrel swivels. All right. And then I have some hooks. So I just got a pack of Gamakatsu long shanked hooks like that. You see their offset point. They tend to do better with the stock trout, I think. So, and then I have my leader. So basically what it amounts to is I have my main line tied to one end of that barrel swivel, and into the other end I have a leader. So what do I use for my leaders? Well, this year it's going to be this. Berkeley Trilene in 6-pound or I have some leftover Bass Pro Shop XL fluorocarbon in 4. I'm actually going to try to use this up. I don't have very much left. But it's going to be a mix of that and this for my leaders. Okay, so let me show you exactly how it's set up. Let me turn my rod around here. So there's my hook. All right, so I'm going to try to do this close up to the camera. I'm looking into the screen. All right, so here I have my main line, right? I'm going to hold it still so you guys can focus on it. So I have my main line here. And here it's tied off to one of those barrel swivels. See it? Okay? And I have my 1/4 ounce tungsten sitting above that. Tied off to this with a Palomar knot is my leader, which on this one is about 18 inches. Okay? And then I have it tied directly, well, helps if I actually grab the line. I have it tied directly to one of those hooks using an improved clinch knot. There you go. Okay? So that's my setup. 6-pound braid with a 1/4 ounce leader tied to a barrel swivel, and into the other end of the barrel swivel, an 18-inch leader. And this one is the Trilene Sensation, and it's tied directly to a hook. All right? So there's 2 kinds of baits that I use, okay, for trout. There's a lot of guys that will go out and they'll go with grubs or jigs and stuff like that. I don't do that. There's guys who go out with fly rods and have success with the stock trout. I don't use that either. What I would recommend is this. Okay, so these are the pre-formed pellets, as you can see here. They're like in little chunks. And then there's the standard dough, which is just kind of like a paste, right? But they work the same way, so it floats. So whether you use this or this, it's going to float above the bottom. So you take this, you put it on the hook. I kind of mash it onto the hook a little bit to make a little ball. This, I use about a small marble size, maybe a little bit smaller than that. You roll it into a ball, shove it onto your hook, and kind of mash it around so it makes like a little teardrop shape. So that way, when you throw out, what happens is, because the bait floats, your bullet weight will sit on the bottom. Okay, it'll actually be anchored to the bottom. And then because this bait is floating and it's pretty buoyant, it actually will float your line and hook above the bottom. So what you're ending up with is your hook is not sitting like this in the water like it would be if you have bluegill. It's actually sitting like this, okay? Because it's floating up from the bottom. So it's sitting like this, and you have, oh hell, I'll just show you guys. You have your little ball of power bait sitting on the hook like so. This is really troublesome with fingers that don't work, by the way. So I just put it on here like this and then kind of mush it down a little to make it kind of teardrop shaped. So it'll sit like this, right? So it's actually going to float off the bottom and sit like that in the water, and the trout will come along and grab it like that and get hooked, right? So as you can see, I leave just the tip of the hook sticking out. Let me put it actually by the camera. So the tip of the hook is sticking out. So that gives it something to bite into, you know, when the trout actually hook the bait. So it doesn't actually, they're not able to just pull the bait off without getting hooked. I leave that little tip hanging out like that, so that way it has something to actually bite them. You know, when they bite the lure bites back, right? But that's how it sits. It actually sits off the bottom, floating upwards like this. So that's another reason why I like these little offset point hooks, because when they come and grab it, they're not going to grab it in line with the shank of the hook, right? As you can see. So it's actually a little offset to the right going this way. So they're more likely to grab a hold of the bait and get the hook point, as opposed to grab a hold of the bait and get the shank of the hook and be able to spit that out without getting caught. Okay, so that's how I prefer to use it. So this is my setup. This is exactly the stuff that I'm using. I'm not holding back any secrets or anything like that from you guys. I told you guys from the beginning, my promise was that I would not hold back any secrets or anything like that from my fishing or anything. But this is the exact setup that I'm using. 6-pound braid, 8-pound Sensation or 6-pound Sensation leader, Gamakatsu number 8 hook with a 1/4 ounce weight up here with a number 12 barrel sinker. And this is an ultralight rod that I'm going to be using. I have several ultralights. So that's all you need. But good luck trying to find this now around here, since the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries actually advertised the fact that they're going to be doing a youth fishing class for when they stock their trout in January. So they're actually signing people up now for the January when they come and stock the big ones. The Breck system will actually be stocking the ones first, and they usually do it this week, the week before Christmas. They usually stock the trout somewhere around here, but as soon as people hear that, man, they rush out and they buy all the power bait they can find. So I hope you guys are actually able to find some, because when I looked on Amazon yesterday, most places were selling it for like $10 and $11 a jar. You know, this stuff is $3 if you go buy it in the summer when I do. I just leave it sealed up. I don't open them or anything like that until I go fishing with them. But anyway, that is the exact rig that I use when I go fishing for these stock trout. I hope where you are they do that, because it's a really fun program. I look forward to it every year. A lot of people that I fish with love catching these stock trout. The limit is 4 a day here, 4 per person per day. Now, I know a lot of people around here cheat, all right? And to be frank with me, it kind of pisses me off. They'll go to one part catch 4, then another part catch 4, then another part catch 4, you know, and they're catching 3 times their limit. And the shame of it is that neither the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries nor any of the Breck people will keep track of this. You know, they don't stop people. And every year, there's assholes that will go out at nighttime after they stock these fish the night afterwards and start throwing cast nets around and catching them with cast nets. So if you see them, call Breck or something, please. You know, this is a program that they put out every year. You and I pay for it through our licensing fees and state taxes, and they're essentially stealing from you if they do this. So turn them in. I know this whole, you know, snitches get stitches, dumbass idea that some people have, but you know, if there are people out there cast netting these fish or keeping more than their limit of 4, you know, they are stealing from you. This is your tax money that's going to pay for these fish. Your license fees have gone to pay for these fish, you know, so you can go out and have a good time and catch a couple and come home and grill them up or something. So, yeah, turn them in. People who can't follow the rules don't deserve to participate in something like this, especially when they're stealing from people who are doing it on legit, right? Anyhow, I hope you guys have a good week. I hope you're enjoying the cool weather like I am, because I'm definitely a cool weather fan. And hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll be getting the notification about these stock trout coming out. So, tight lines, my friends. Go catch some trout.